everyone, and welcome back to Starseeds and Patriots of Down Under. I'm Chris, your host. Welcome to my awesome channel, and thank you for joining us. And as promised, I said to you that I'd be returning with another video of another sunken possible city off the coast of Australia. And so let's get into it, everyone. This is another one that I found just off the coast of Victoria on the east coast. So here's the first photo, everyone. I'd just like for you to pay attention to the east coast here, where you can see Sydney, Canberra and ACT, which is Australia's capital territory. Okay, and if you can see from the sky here, there's a lot of undersea anomalies there, raised mountains, etc., reefs. You can see the drop-off. It's all in the drop-off pretty much, okay? But you can see also that there's one particular object there from this height you can see that does not quite fit in. Okay, you can see that everything else around it is organic. This thing particularly has structure and four sides. Now, for those of you with a discerning eye, you have probably caught it. For those of you who haven't, here it is. This particular object here, circled. Okay, now we're going to go down closer to it. I want you to have a look at this. As you can see, we're off the coast of Shepparton, Canberra, ACT, Wollongong, everything like that. Okay, you can see already from this height, it is very, very big, very big. And let's go closer. Now, does that look like a building? Or does that look like a building? Let's go a little closer again. You can see that it has sloped sides. There are walls. And it has a top. Okay, but this particular building has a much larger area as well. Now, after thousands of years of sediment, soil, sand build up at the bottom of the ocean, a lot of this is probably covered. Okay, there's even the surrounding areas, which I do believe is actually a possible sunken city, due to the fact that it is set up like a city with a central building at the core. And as you can see here from above, okay, there are walls that come from the central building, which suggests that this was a much larger area that this place covered. Okay, now I want to also remind everyone that in my previous video, I mentioned and showed everyone the size in meters or miles, or sorry, I should say kilometers or miles across diagonally from one corner to the other, that the previous building structure I showed you in the other video was 42 miles or 30 kilometers. Okay, now this one here, I'm going to leave for the end as well. I'll show you that this has a very large footprint and large base structure. Okay, and that's what I'm going to show you. It doesn't include the outer areas. Okay, but you can see that this clearly had some form of structure or building where an ancient city obviously did lay at one point in our ancient past on a coastline when the waters were much lower before the Younger Dryas Period. Okay. And for any of you that don't know what the Younger Dryas period is, go and have a look it up. Listen to Graham Hancock. Listen to him talk about such topics and subject matter. He's very versed on what they call the Younger Dryas and earlier Dryas periods. Okay, but it's what they refer to as climate change today, everyone. But this is a very big place. Just moving through. This particular photo I saw as well, I wanted to zoom in on this area when I was looking at it on Google Earth, and I thought this is strange because this is a square area, and Mother Nature doesn't build in straight lines. Okay. In this particular area, as I said, is square. It has also a circular center with other objects around it. So this is possibly a central meeting place at the top of this particular structure. Okay. As mentioned, I would show you the footprint in miles or kilometers. And as the previous one, that I showed you in my previous video, it was 42 miles or 30 kilometers. This one too has a footprint diagonally across from corner to corner of 42 miles, not taking into account the surrounding areas, the walls that are around this, or streets maybe, who knows what they are. But this nonetheless has a very large footprint. It rivals, even the previous structure I showed you in the other video. Their base footprint for these structures to be built upon rivals anything that's actually built in our current world today on the surface, such as the pyramids of Egypt or the Great Pyramid of the Sun in Romania, or the one in Aztec, New Mexico at Teotihuacan. Okay, these things have footprints that are vastly huge. Now, as you can see in this previous picture of my previous video, okay, these are very big structures. I thought I'd add this one in as well so you can have a bit of a comparison. Okay. But as you can see with this is a very, very big building with causeways that lead up to the corners as well. But this has stairs, it has an entry at the front. And as I showed you in this video, this building has a footprint of 42.5 miles. Okay. It is massive. So just showing you that again, 42, and then going up back to this one. This is the new one that I was showing you at Victoria, off the coast of Shepparton, ACT in Canberra. So it is, you can see relatively, this is not by mistake, this is by design. You can't have two structures that are so distantly separated that are on the bottom of the ocean floor, that were obviously at some stage in our past on land before the oceans rose. Okay. But they have a footprint that is almost equal, 42 miles. This one's 42.1477 miles. This particular one is 42.518, but give or take. Okay, so the fact is that they're 42 miles, 30 kilometers roughly each. That's bloody huge, people. It's bloody huge. So just, if you will, everyone, just get onto Google Earth. We know that the powers that be in Google down in Silicon Valley, they like to whitewash and Photoshop and edit out whatever, little things that we like to find. I mean, look at Antarctica, for example. Antarctica I found many years ago on my iPad when I first got into all of this. Many different things that are no longer there today that I can get. I can't go and look at those things anymore. But lucky for me, I've got screenshots. I screenshot a lot of stuff. Excuse me. But it's just amazing to know that you can go and have a look at these structures. You can find them off the coastlines of pretty much any continent, any country, and you'll see that there's so much down there just to see that hasn't been photoshopped out yet. Okay. I found that there's a land bridge, an undersea, well, not undersea land bridge. It was, as I previously mentioned, a lot of these structures were on land in ancient times before cataclysms, etc. And these waters were much lower, so therefore the land masses would have been above water. So at one point, if you go and actually have a look on Google Earth, you can see that from the North Island of New Zealand, there is a land bridge that would have been above water in our ancient past at one point, where you would have been able to walk from North Island of New Zealand to Fiji, okay, and then from then on to Papua New Guinea, okay. So, and it was just a massive, vast area, okay. So, but also you've got to remember, there's also the land of Lemuria, okay, that's sunk as well. There's also another sunken continent off the coast of India called Dwarka, okay, which is a continent that I believe will highly rewrite a lot of history, that will actually align perfectly with a lot of the Sumerian epics, okay. But anyway, getting back to it, just go and have a look for yourselves. Have a poke around. get onto Google Earth and have a look at some of these things and send me some of your photos if you want. And I'll present them. I'll even give you credit on the actual show and mention your names. And thank you for the actual photograph sent. It's just amazing what we can actually do if we just all group together and scratch each other's back, so to speak. But just go and have a look around and find these things for yourselves, and know that the history that is written and been told to us and taught is not exactly history that we know to be truth. Okay, so it's up to us to go find that truth and actually fit it in its time, in its line of time, okay, and where it fits in within our history and civilizations or pre-histories. Okay, so in saying that, everyone, I'd just like to say thank you again for joining me today with Starseeds and Patriots of Down Under. I've got a couple other videos that I've got to go and work on and get them organised and sorted out to get them out to you. So in saying that, everyone, I'd like to say goodbye for the time being and wish you all well, and thank you again. Lots of love till next time. This is Chris signing out. Take care then.